What's going on, everybody? I'm Chris,
And I'm Sherman,
and
and
we
we
are
are.
friends.
Are
With,
we friends?
I would like to think of us as friends.
Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
Yeah,
A month, 2 months.
I'd say, I think it, I'd say at least 2 months. No,
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
stay with 2 months.
we'll stay with two
Let's go
months.
with
Yeah,
2 months. All right.
cool.
So I think it's an interesting story about actually how we met.
Yeah, definitely, because I've never met a friend through Bumble BFF before, and that's what I used to meet Sherman. And
Yeah, that is actually how we met. I think what it was like I'm just talking about my experience because I have friends come and go as you get older. I would say in my 30s now, it's really hard to get like long connection friends that you can like feel like are like family.
yeah,
So
like
that's
most
when.
most of the people that I'm really good friends with, I've known since middle school or high school at least, and that's pretty much when you meet most of your long-lasting friends. Because outside of college, once you become an adult, you're like, where do I fucking meet people to hang out with?
Agree. Yeah. And I think that's why going to bars wasn't working for me. So I was like, one of my friends, Gabby, was like, hey, you should download this app, Bumble BFF. And you can use it as a dating site, but you could also use it to make friends. And that's when I was like, all right, I downloaded it, went through a few profiles. I came across Chris' profile. It was a little dark, a little, a little
Weird
gothic.
looking.
Yeah, a little weird looking. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna match and we'll see whatever. And then we started talking.
Yeah, and then yeah, from my perspective of it too, I just moved here from California, and I didn't know how to meet people. I'm a tattoo artist, and it's sometimes like I have become friends with clients in the past, but it's weird because sometimes when you become friends with clients, they almost expect you to give them a better deal on tattoos, and then it's like
Mhm.
almost like losing that steady workflow because now you're giving people discounts on tattoos because you've become friends with them. So I was kind of lost in the sense that like I wanted some sort of companionship, and I went through a couple bitches at first thinking, hey, maybe if I got laid, that'll satiate my need for companionship, and it didn't. So I was just like, well, you know what? I think I just need a friend, like someone to hang out with. And so I was talking to one of my friends who lives in Washington, and she's like, well, how about you try Bumble BFF? One of my guy friends out here actually met one of his good friends on Bumble BFF, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a try. Why not? And that's when I came across Sherman's page, and I've talked to a couple other guys on there, but I haven't actually hung out with any of them. Sherman's the only one I have, and yeah, I mean, we had good conversation the first time we hung out. Everything felt comfortable and fluid, and we just went from there.
I agree. I think when we first met, I was I didn't know what to expect because we met at a park. Because
Yeah,
I go to this local park and I walk there. It is nothing sketchy. I just go there to walk, right?
yeah,
And I was just like, I'm gonna be walking at the park. You should come up. And then like I see this long Hirsch looking red Dodge vehicle pull up, and I'm just like, all right, I'm probably gonna die. It's okay. I've got my will and everything situated. And then like we started talking and we were walking, and it was just like it just like you said, it just felt natural. It was easy to talk to. It wasn't like no preconceived notions or like it wasn't that alpha male. Like I'm not trying to say Chris is not like a male or like he's not he doesn't have this dominating personality that almost feels like anything that I do or if I hang out with a certain person I'm being prejudged or I'm
yeah,
worried about like outer views coming in and like judging me based on who I'm hanging around.
yeah.
So that just kind of felt right.
Well, I've also been judged for the way I look many times from many people. Like everybody kind of has a preconceived notion about me when they first see me because I'm not your average looking person. I've got a lot of facial piercings, and I've got a lot of tattoos. So people see me and they're like, "Oh, he's probably an asshole," which I can be sarcastically. I'm a
Agree.
sarcastic asshole. But I don't like infringing on other people's days because I don't like it when my day is infringed upon. So I'm not going to judge anybody for the way they live their lives because I mean, you don't become a tattoo artist by being an upstanding citizen. So, you know, I can't judge the way I see it. I can't judge anybody because of my life is questionable as well. You know, so why would I judge somebody for something that they do when I could very easily be judged myself? But I mean, it's funny because I have this one friend back in California. He's one of my really good friends, and his cousin. I guess I guess I met his parents, his cousin's parents at some point. I don't remember. I think it was at one of their family parties. But I was talking with his cousin one time, and his cousin was telling me how his parents think I'm the most interesting person in the world to them. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, I've met your parents before. And he's like, yeah, you know, like it was at this family event. And I was like, okay, cool. And so he's like, yeah. I was like, but why do they think I'm an interesting person? And they're like, he's like, because of what you look like versus how you present yourself. They're like, they saw you and they were weirded out by what you look like, and then you introduced yourself to them in the most polite way ever. And so they saw something, and then they experienced something completely from different from what they judged you as. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that, you know, like I do my best to be well spoken and I guess the epitome of don't judge a book by its cover.
I agree. I will say that now, people who are listening probably have no idea how you look. I guess he gave you a brief description, but ideally, I like to describe Chris as like this emo gothic slash. If anyone, I might be dating myself, but there's this band called Kiss, and everybody usually knows who they are. Like
Yeah.
those people, he looks like them, but then like he's also like when he talk and he speaks, he might as well just be a Teletubby because he just acts like, oh, I'm nice, I'm a good guy. You like, you know, he doesn't come off like he says the way he looks, and like I think that's kind of like most of my friends that's met Chris is just like, wow, he's not what I expected him to be, and I was just like, I don't know. I told him when they met him, I was like, he's just different.
Yeah.
And that's good though, like diversity in all forms, whether it's the way you look and you present yourself, or whether it's just like, you know, whatever nowadays. It's just like I'm glad the world has changed from what it used to be.
Yeah.
But this also brings us to like, so right now it's November. So me and Chris actually were friends, and since this has been about 2 months, right around Halloween time is when like we hung out for like, I guess I wanted him to choose a place where he was supposed to go somewhere with a female.
Yeah.
And I think she canceled, or she just didn't.
So it was a Tinder girl that I was hanging out with for a little while, and then things got complicated, and we stopped hanging out. But me and her and I actually, her and I had already bought tickets to go to these parties, and they were going to be held at a castle. And she was like, would you want to go to these with me? They're a lot of fun. And I was like, I've never been to anything like that, but it sounds like a lot of fun, so let's do it. So I bought the tickets, and then at like probably a couple weeks after we bought tickets, we stopped hanging out. And honestly, a week before the party, I decided I was like, fuck, I really want to go to this, but I don't want to go by myself. And then I was like, Sherman. I'm sure Sherman will be down to go to something like this with me.
Yeah, and when you brought it up, I was like, okay, a castle. All I heard was castle. I'm like, I don't know, where's this castle? And then he told me, and then like he sent me links to like what it was about, and I was just like, a kink slash furry like fetish party, and I was just like, you know what? I don't mind stepping outside of my zone. I'm all for trying new things as long as it's not like skydiving or something I can die in.
I'm not going skydiving. I'll never ask you to go skydiving because fuck that.
Yeah.
You could not pay me enough money to jump out of a plane.
Which is weird because he looked like he would go skydiving.
Maybe, you know, I could see how I could give off the vibe of somebody who might go skydiving, but no, fuck that. I'm a tall person, and I think it's common for tall people to be afraid of heights.
Oh, really?
I think so, because I'm like, I'll go up to high places. Like if if I'm like, say I'll go up to on a lighthouse or go up to the top of a building or something, if I'm gonna look over the edge, I'm the type of person who will get on my fucking body. Like, I will lay down and look over the edge
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not trying to like look over the edge. A breeze comes by and pushes me over. Like, fuck that.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Okay, so imagine this 6'4" man standing at the top of a building, and this gentle breeze just comes through and just swoops him away like he's a feather. I don't think that's how it works.
I listen. Fears are irrational, and that is an irrational fear.
Okay.
I will gladly admit that it is very irrational, but that is a thought that goes through my mind every time I get up on a very high level of something. I won't even jump off of a cliff, in a 30-foot cliff, into water.
Wait, have you zip lined before?
I will do zip lining.
Okay.
Zip lining's dope because I'm strapped in and I'm fucking zooming down through some trees or some shit. That's cool as fuck. I'm cool with speed.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm harnessed into something that is tried and true, I'm down to do it. But like carnival rides, fuck that.
Really? Not even carnival rides? Like
Fuck.
roller coasters?
Are you kidding? No, I hate roller coasters.
As long as they're moving fast, I'm good. I can go through the motions.
I can do the fast roller coasters, but like anything with a really large like drop, I'm good. Give me the fuck away from those things.
That makes sense. But let's get back to the part where we went to this kink party because, mind you, right? Like, I'm still just getting to know Chris, and then he's just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to this kink party." I was like, "All right, fine, I'm down to go." So the night of the party comes, and he's like, he's just my whole perspective of going into this was I was gonna be a wingman. Like, that was my thing. Is like I have three brothers. I've been their wingmen before when they go, and Chris is single. So for all the ladies listening, at this moment, November 15th, 2022, Chris is single. So if the ladies want to look him up, then I'm sure you can find him somewhere. But we went to this kink party, and I was like, I'm gonna be the wingman. And then we get there, and luckily it wasn't cold, right? It was not cold. It was like the day before Halloween.
It was a little bit. No, it wasn't the day. It was the weekend of Halloween. Okay. So Halloween was on a Monday, and the party was on Friday.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't say it was cold. It was chilly, but it wasn't cold for sure. Like, you could stand outside and it wouldn't bother you.
True. So we had a few shots. We started driving towards the location. I'm like, all right, fine, it's a castle. It has to be somewhere that's like big, right? Like, we started driving, and it was just like woods. And I'm like, all right, so I'm definitely getting killed. This is definitely like a cultural sacrifice. It's a castle. It's a kink party.
Satanic ritual is going on.
That's what I thought was happening. We get there, we get in, and I just start seeing things. Like, it was slow starting. It was not packed when we first got there, but like, I'm seeing things I've never seen before. I'd never been to a kink or furry party, so I didn't know what I was getting into.
I had never been to a fetish party as well, and it was my first time as well. But I was just excited to try something new.
Yeah, there was like, when we first got there, there were several locations, and we had the VIP ticket, so there's like a heated area with food. We went there, and then we went out to like the big event area where there was like everything was outside. And there was this girl who was getting like hot wax poured on her.
Yeah.
And then he was also like setting like paper or something on fire.
I think it was cotton.
Okay, cotton. He was setting it on fire on her body. And I was just like, okay, this is one of those, like, I was like, we're getting into like Circus Olay or like freak show type, scenarios, which I don't claim to know everything about those different like entertainment or fetishes, but I guess I just kind of correlated it to as like, maybe might be what I'm getting myself into. But it was fun. Like, there were people dressed up in costumes. Sure. We had on costumes. Like, we had to wear black.
I had on just all black. I didn't really wear a costume. I had a mask, like a masquerade mask, and like a black button-up shirt and black leather pants on, and some black shoes. And then you dressed up as like gender fuck kind of drag.
Yeah.
So you're like half male, half female kind of drag, like warlock.
Yeah, pretty much that was it. Because I had like a staff, and I had like this like female top that had like a cape to it, and then I had on like, might as well say it was a Speedo because it's technically what it was, but it was fashioned to look better than a Speedo. Yeah. And then I had on black boots because like it was a lot of walking. That would have been a bad idea if I wore heels. But yeah, it was a gender fuck type atmosphere to it, gender fluid, whatever you want to call it. That's definitely what I was aiming for.
Hmm.
And I was like, no one's probably going to do that. But I was wrong because there was a lot of.
There was a lot of people in a lot risque type of outfits. But remember that one dude who was wearing like a harness and a cock sleeve, and
Oh
that's it.
yeah, and he was with that girl his wife or whoever she was. That was crazy because like when we saw him, like mind you, I'm not getting very detailed, but like clearly he was erect on some level. There was no stuffing going on. There was definitely
Yeah,
some erection going on, and I was just like, this guy must have taken a Viagra pill because 4 hours later when we saw him,
he was still
still
hard.
full attention, and we were like,
Yep.
there is no way this is possible. There,
Yeah.
he had to take something.
Hmm.
But did they win anything? I think
Yeah,
they
they
won
they won
something.
the best costume contest because like I said, he was wearing a harness and a cock sleeve, and his wife was wearing pasties and something that covered her vagina, and like like a foxtail that you just like that was tied on around her.
Yeah.
Which it would have been better if she was wearing one of those like butt plug uh,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
foxtails,
Yeah.
because
That
that
would
would have just
ooh,
completed the entire outfit.
that
But
would have been but that would have been very uncomfortable for her.
oh,
Like for
absolutely, I'm
four
sure.
hours. I mean, I don't know, she might be a pro. She might have been able to handle it. I don't
Okay.
know. But we're missing the part where like when we first got there, we did the walking around, we saw all of the little stations and everything.
Mhm.
And then out of nowhere, I don't even know how we ran into them. I don't know if I approached them. I don't know why it's blurry to me.
That one girl actually approached you, telling you how much she loved your outfit.
Oh, okay,
And
right,
then you
right.
two started talking, and then since you two were talking, I noticed that she was there with a friend, and so me and the friend started talking, and then we just ended up spending the rest of the night with those two.
Literally the entire night we spent with them. And I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't bad. It was fun. Like
yeah.
we just kind of like they came with us places. We kind of looked after them, and well, not really looked after them. They
Well,
were adults.
I mean, we kind of did though. They were fucked up, and
Yeah,
like on a certain level, like they were both, they were both there to have a good time, but you could also tell that they weren't there to be slutty or
yeah,
scandalous. They didn't want to get with anybody, and it like from the beginning, I kind of got like I was instantly comfortable with both of them, and they both told me that they instantly had this like protected feeling being around me. Like
hmm
they didn't feel like I was gonna try anything with them. And I even told them flat out, like, look, you guys are fucked up. I'm staying sober for this. I'm gonna let Sherman get drunk if he wants to, but I'm gonna stay sober so I can be the designated driver. So like I'm not the type of person who's gonna take advantage of somebody who's fucked up because I would feel like a shitty person.
yeah,
If I was fucked up and then another person was fucked up and we ended up hooking up, whatever. It's water under the bridge. I'm not gonna like feel like an asshole for doing something like that because we were both intoxicated. But if I'm sober like I was, I'm not gonna take advantage of somebody. But yeah, we had a good time. We walked around. We went to a couple different stages and we danced with each other. Got drunk, or not. I didn't get drunk, but we got a couple drinks, and like I think I had maybe two drinks the entire time I was there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I didn't get drunk the entire time, but I had a great time.
Oh no, it was definitely fun for sure. From my perspective, because I can't speak for Chris, I'm gonna speak from my perspective. Okay, so these girls came compliment me on my outfit. I told them I love their outfits, and then like somehow we became attached at the hip to them, which was fine with me because I didn't care. I was just there to have fun, and I was like, hey, more power just to have more people hanging around and just having fun. And I just remember like I remember like seeing Chris with one of the girls, and he was clearly into her, and like I was like, okay, so this is my job to step in as a wingman, okay? And I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I like both of these girls. I just remember like the girl that I was supposed to be the main wingman for. She was very lovely, very sweet, just a sweet individual, even if she was intoxicated. But like I had my work cut out for me. Like she was a
Yeah.
handful the entire night, and I was just like, I got this, I got this. And several times I found myself being like, the person you lean on, the person she was dancing with, the person she was like drinking and taking shots with, and I was just like, I don't care. I was like, I'm just gonna keep her occupied, so Chris can get his Mac on with this girl. I know how to be a wingman. I know how to do my job, but like. it was fun and it was great. And I'm trying to remember. I remember we us going to the bathroom because she had to use the bathroom, and then like we went into this. It was like this. Was it a VIP section that
I
we were
think it was an
in?
EDM section.
Okay, it was EDM section.
Yeah,
All
because there
right.
was like a cage and girls were dancing in the cage and like they were playing EDM music because the other stage that we were at was like a burlesque slash stripper stage, and
Mm-hmm.
so like strippers were dancing on a pole or every now and then like a couple drag girls would come out and they would do their shows and like so it was the performance stage where like the different performers were, and that's where we spent most of our time. But yeah, when we went to the restroom with them because that one needed to use the restroom, that's when we went into like the EDM room where they were just playing EDM music, which that room looked pretty cool too.
It was really cool. It was really fun. Like I would do it again. Like it doesn't even have to be Halloween. If they had another like kink party, I think I would go because I think it opened my eyes. I don't think I'm a closed-minded person, but I think I have not experienced a lot of like what's available in the world because
Yeah,
I am from like country, North Carolina, small town. Like those places exist, but they're like those scenarios. Like it's usually like a special event like Halloween where they feel like it's safe for them to like be who
yeah.
they are and come out.
Yeah, like I'm from Los Angeles, like California area, and I mean there are clubs that are focused around kink and fetish parties that happen every weekend, but it's LA. It's land of all the slutty people.
Oh, so what you're saying is you're a slut.
No, I'm
Okay.
not a slut.
But you said it's the land and you come from that land. So, I mean, put two and two together. I'm joking. I don't think Chris is a slut. I think he's a very interesting straight white male that happens to be 6'2". You
Six
said
four.
6'4".
Yeah,
Okay, 6'4". All right, I didn't think. I don't know. I don't know why I keep thinking it like. And it is weird that those girls were just like, oh yeah, for some reason we feel protective of you, you 6'4" white male with tattoo piercings all in your face,
yeah.
with this black outfit, who looked like he could have possibly been a villain from like a comic book or like a superhero movie.
I can fuck with that.
Yeah, you were definitely like you looked villainous, but like when you talked, you were just like, oh no, I'm just Alfred the butler. Like I'm the friendly, not old guy, but like I'm just a friendly.
I'm just your friendly neighborhood butler.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, speaking of just in general, I mean, we would have to see if there's like another kink party because I would like to see.
I can look up the castle because I know they hold events there pretty often, so I can see if there's anything coming up.
I mean, hell yeah, and I mean to this day, I mean, just because people probably might want to know is we actually did at the end of the night. Chris offered to drive the beautiful young ladies home, which he
Yeah,
did.
I did. Yeah, I drove them home, and then we went back to my place, and because Sherman had come to my place so he could get changed, but yeah, and then ended up getting one of their numbers, the one that I was kind of hanging out interested in. I got her number, and her and I have hung out a couple times since then, and it's been nice.
So
It's nothing, not really trying to push anything, you know, just hanging out.
so just for the audience, what exactly is your type? Like when you think like if you think of the ideal woman that would like just come into your life and just catch you off guard.
Intelligence is the biggest turn on. Like if you don't have anything going on between your ears, please stay the fuck away from me. I mean,
I mean, that makes
yeah,
sense. No one wants to.
like I need to be able to hold a good conversation with you, and also I don't care what your political beliefs are, but if they differ from mine, then can we at least agree to disagree? I would love to have somebody that I could have a conversation with, and listen, if you can change, like I don't necessarily believe that I fall to one side. I like to say I'm more broad spectrum because there are some things that I agree with that fall on one side of it, and there are things that I agree with that fall on the other side of it. So like I just I don't necessarily believe that I am one side of it, and I don't think I think a lot of people are that way. They're just too afraid to openly talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because like most of their friends would say fall under one demographic, and so they just conform to whatever their friends are doing. I don't really care about conforming. I like to I'm going to be myself unapologetically always. So if people don't fuck with that, that's okay with me. You know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I have had people who didn't like me, who thought I was cocky, a cocky asshole, and I'm like, confidence. There's a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and I think I am on that line though. Like I'm not cocky. I do think I do understand that there are better tattoo artists than me for sure. And I'm just on a path to grow as not only as a person but as an artist. And but yeah, like people definitely think I'm cocky sometimes, but it's just more being confident because I have my own insecurities. I just don't put them up on other people.
I agree. I agree. I mean, so you like someone who's smart.
I like someone who's smart. Attraction is a number one thing for me. Like, call me shallow, but I can't. They're like, I'm not going to be interested unless I'm visually interested at first. But also at the same time, I don't care what race it is. If you're black and hot, you're black and hot. If you're like Latino, if you're like Middle Eastern, if you're Asian, white, I don't care. Although I will say most of the women that I have been with are white women, but it doesn't mean I'm not attracted to other races. It's just happened to be that the women that I've connected with the most happen to be normally white blonde women. But
Oh, okay. So you
yeah,
do have a type.
I guess so. I guess so, but I mean, and it's not necessarily that I have a type. It's just that's how it works out, you know.
Hmm.
I haven't had like, I mean, I've dated brunettes for sure. That chick was psycho, but but I've also dated a blonde that was batshit crazy too, you know. So like,
You gotta, yeah. It's hard to like. You can't judge a book by its cover. Like you have to get in
yeah.
scenarios where you get to know the
Not only
person.
that, but anybody can play a really sweet person for a month, and then they get used to you, and they're like, "By the way, this is me," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit."
That's true.
Uh,
Well, now that brings in the question of just like, well, I wouldn't even say it's a question, it's just like an observation for me. It's like, I also feel like I don't like when I meet people and the perception is like, oh, well, what's your zodiac sign? Oh, I can't date you because you're a Scorpio. And I'm
oh
like,
my
okay,
god,
first of all, I do listen, if you look for characteristics of yourself in anything, you will find it. So when
absolutely.
people say, I know it's not that I don't believe in the zodiac signs, it's just that like, I do believe, okay, some characteristics that people say about scorpions are true. Like if you cross me over, then I'm gonna get back at you. Period.
Hmm.
But like at the same time, I don't go out my way being that person, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. And the
exactly.
other things about Scorpios, like we're super freaky and all this other stuff. I'm just like, okay, I don't think that applies to me. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I in certain levels, yeah, but like you can look at things that's about a Sagittarius and be like, you know what, those traits are me as well. But that doesn't mean like you shouldn't take one thing and just equate all of those personality types to a person and then you
absolutely.
get the wrong impression and then when you try to date them you figure out there's something else and you're like, oh my god, I was so wrong. Well, of course, because humans are complex.
Yeah, exactly. We're not just what the newspaper says we are for that week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. That it's just stupid. But anyway, so you did end up going with speaking with that one female and
Hmm.
y'all have hung out and stuff and I actually liked her. She was really nice. She was
Yeah.
really nice to me and she seemed very like humble and like down to earth and she was
Yeah.
around my age, which I will not disclose. So she was around my age and I was like, finally somebody that's
I
around
know
my
she's
age.
older than me, and I was just like, that's also another thing that's. First of all, I thought she was like 25 when I first met her, and
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
looked
"No,
young.
I'm actually this age." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I mean, you look damn good for being your that age, but
Let's not try to give any hints like make me seem old because first of all,
no,
she's
okay,
not.
she's not old, but she looked like she was 25. Um, but one thing that what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, like one thing like I'm in my early 30s, and she she is older than me, and what's funny about that is my track record. I normally date younger than me, not a lot younger than me, but like I'd say like right now, like 25, 26 is the youngest I would date. um but that's normally the demographic of like anytime any like whatever age I am, I normally date somebody who's anywhere between 4 to 5 years younger than me. So it's cool to have somebody that I'm actually very interested in who is older than me. And it's funny because I was actually talking to my parents on the phone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, have you met anybody?" I'm like, "Yeah, I met this one girl. She's really cool." And they're like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was like, "By the way, she's actually like older than me." And they're like, "What?"
Okay, Mister going for the young ones. Okay,
Whatever.
I mean 25 is not
That's not.
young.
Yeah.
It's not like a teenager, like early
Yeah.
20s, 21. Like
Nah,
so.
listen, I'm not gonna date a 21-year-old because the only thing 21-year-olds are focused on, and listen, I'm not judging them because this is what I was focused on when I was 21, is just getting drunk and partying. And I'm at that age where I'm like, getting drunk and partying all the time is like, first of all, I don't like being around a lot of people. If I go to a bar and it's packed, I'm walking out. I want to be able to hear myself think. I want to be able to have a conversation with the person next to me without having to yell at them.
True.
you know so I just, when I was younger, I loved being around a lot of people. I loved going clubbing, doing all that stuff. Now that I'm older, I'm just like, no, I just want to hang out in a cool chill vibe and see where the night goes.
True. Well, this actually gets us to, because we went to this black party, we experienced it. It was nice. It was good. It was a kink party.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're on the topic of black, like the biggest thing right now is Black Panther just came out
Mm-hmm.
last weekend, and we actually went to go see Black Panther,
We did.
Wakanda Forever. Thursday
Mm-hmm.
night. Yeah, Thursday night we went,
Yeah.
and we're not going to give out complete spoilers because not everyone has seen the movie right now, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know when I'm posting this, so it might be the point where everybody already seen it. So I don't know if it really matters.
Yeah.
But I guess just your general thoughts of the movie. I don't know if you're an MCU connoisseur of all the movies.
I've seen all of them. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you're okay. So first, give your scale out of 10, what you would rate the movie, and then like your experience watching the movie. And don't feel ashamed. I don't think anybody from
Yeah. I don't
the African
care.
American community is going to track you down.
I doubt it. Um, Out of 10, I would say I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay, and why?
Um, because it wasn't, it didn't have the most like comedic relief to action. I feel like it also started out a little bit slow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I felt myself like sitting there like, okay, when somebody gonna fuck somebody up? Like, I want to see some cool fight scenes. And it doesn't have to be action packed the entire time, but I felt like it. I don't know. It just started off really slow. It wasn't the worst Marvel movie. I personally, I think the worst Marvel movie out there right now is that Morbius movie.
Oh God, we can't get into that, right? Well, no, we're gonna bounce back to that 'cause
Yeah.
I'm gonna just give my score and what I thought about the movie. So out of a 10, I would give Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I would give it, I'd say, a 8.5. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've been a connoisseur of the Marvel movies. I've seen every Disney Plus TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing about Marvel is always jumped into this trope of like the villains are always an afterthought. Like they don't put a lot of thought into it. They're just there for the movie, and since they're only there for one movie, they don't really bother building like some big good backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would like for them to dedicate a movie to just like the villain, but why they became the villain, and then put them in a movie with a superhero, and then they lose, but they don't necessarily die, if that makes sense. Then you
Yeah.
feel more connected to that
Kind of like the
person.
Joker.
Yeah, like the Joker.
Hmm.
So I will say I gave it an 8.5 because the movie did start off slow, but I appreciated the movie for what it kind of was, which was just like, okay, this movie is about mourning the death of Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther while also handing over the mantle. So while there was very minimal action in the movie, and I understand that, they were trying to set up something that was kind of like, Marvel is known for just doing big action movies. Like
Yeah.
that's what people. Oh, well, if there's no action in it, then it's a garbage Marvel movie. But the villain
I,
Namor was very deep. Like he had
yeah.
reasons why he was the way that he was,
Hmm.
and like,
I actually agreed with him on a lot of the shit
oh
too.
yeah,
I was like halfway through, I'm like, is this guy really the villain? Like, I feel like he's right. They should,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Like okay, so I'm not gonna give away the movie, but I'm just gonna say in the movie there's this one part where Namor is just goes to Wakanda and is just like, listen, why did you guys reveal yourself to the world? Like
yeah,
you are a one of the most advanced nations in the world, and if you're promoting and putting yourself out there like that, that makes us nervous because if they get access to vibranium, then that means that they're going to possibly run into us. If Wakanda's not willingly giving them vibranium, then they're going to look for it by themselves, which is ultimately we know we have it as well. They're going to
hmm,
find us, and if
yeah.
we're the only two places in the world you can get it, then
As
inevitably
far as we know,
yeah, as far as we know, then that means you're bringing the spotlight into our world, and we need to know why you did this, and if you're an enemy or
yeah,
if you're an ally.
exactly. Like the fact that you did do this opens us up as a target to the rest of the world when we were living our lives scot free for the longest time. We're happy. We're happy. We're having our good time. Nobody knows about us, and now people are starting to be like, "Oh shit, maybe there's something over here." And now people are kind of sniffing around our neighborhood. We don't want that. So the fact that you're the ones who opened us up to the possibility of the rest of the world finding out about us, we should become allies. And I think he was right in that sense.
Yeah,
Like Wakanda is kind of at fault for that.
yeah.
They should take responsibility for that.
But at the same time, like, I mean, I agree with you on that. Like, Namor wasn't wrong for how he approached them and how he talked to them because when he first came to Wakanda and talked to the queen,
Yeah,
he was just like, "Listen, I've heard of this place. I can't believe it's so pristine and beautiful and amazing." He was like complimenting her,
yeah,
and he was curious, like, "What are y'all gonna do?" Like, he was literally coming to them as like, "We've been hidden. You didn't know about us, but I'm revealing ourselves to you. We don't want the rest of the world to know, but we want to work hand in hand with you so we can figure out like what's gonna happen.
yeah. What's the next move?
Yeah, what's the next move? Your king is dead because he died. Everyone knows Chadwick Boseman is dead.
Hmm.
Your king is dead. The queen is in reign. I need to know what you're gonna do so I can move accordingly."
Hmm.
And he was kind of wrong in one perspective because he kind of wanted to destroy the surface world,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
he wanted to destroy it for the exact reason that made sense, which is that humans are dangerous, and they're not dangerous because of like the weapons that they can create. They're dangerous because of their mindset and what they're willing
Their
to do with
greed
it.
and their unpredictability.
Yeah, and that was his whole thing. He was like, you know
Yeah.
what? He was like, look, Wakanda, we don't have a problem with you, but we need to be allies or we can be enemies because if you're gonna side with the rest of the surface world, we know they crazy. They go to war with stupid stuff.
Yeah.
We're not willing to do that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to risk my community for people that have wronged my people in the past.
Yeah.
And I totally understood where he came from. Like, I don't trust most humans. Fuck.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's very rare that you find somebody who's just like, I can trust you 100%
Yeah,
completely.
exactly. Like, I don't even know, like, my parents. And I'd say a handful. Like, I only have a handful of people that I care about, and I'd say a handful of that handful of people I can surely say that I trust completely. But it's
True.
probably only like 3 out of the 10 people I love I can trust completely with
Yeah.
everything. Like, there's people that I love and care about that I can trust with most things, but then there's aspects about them and who they are where I'm like, you've done me dirty in this aspect, so I don't trust you with this type of shit, but I'll trust you with the rest of the type of shit.
Okay.
Like one of my best friends has hooked up with like multiple girls that I've been interested in
Mm-hmm.
behind my back.
Oh.
And then I found out about it later on down the line. So like I love him and I trust him for the most part, but if I'm going to start hanging out with the girl, I don't bring her around him until her and I are actually like in a relationship and I know that I can trust the woman.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. I don't know if I could do that. Like if one of my friends like tried to sleep with someone I was interested in, I think I or they did, and then I found out after the fact, I would approach him and be like, "Yo, what the fuck was that?" And then if he's just like, "Oh, I mean, she wasn't your girl," I'm be like, "What? Like broke? Like guy code is a thing."
It is. It really is. And listen, I was very hurt, and the only reason I really trust him now is because he's been in a relationship for the last 6 years, and he's not the type of person who cheats. Like she lives in Italy, and he still hasn't cheated on her. So like they were she lived in the United States, she lived in California for the first 4 years of their relationship, and then once she finished school, her school visa ran out, and she had to go back to Italy, and they decided to stay together, and they've been dating long distance for the last 2 years. So
Mm.
they are still together. And he admits, like, yeah, it's tough, but like he will never cheat on her, and I know that for a fact. I could place the hottest chick in the world in his room and have her spend the night, and I would wake up and open the door, and he'd probably be sleeping on the couch, and she'd be sleeping in the bed.
Now, since we're getting off, because we're definitely moving off the
Yeah,
talk of Wakanda, but no,
yeah,
but no, the reason why I'm saying that is because this pivots into something that I was listening to, and oh, man, I wish I could verbatim remember who was talking about it, but they were talking about men. Oh, I know, it was a statistic that just came out saying that now men are having less sex, and Trevor Noah was talking about it on his Daily
okay,
Show, and he was saying how now there's a study that came out that said men report it because they just ask men and they tell them it's like, hey, and most men said they don't have as much sex as they would like,
mm-hmm.
and then there was this whole scenario where, of course, social media and Twitter get involved, and people are just like, men going up there voicing their opinions, like, we should be having sex, and we're entitled to it. I'm like, what do
You're
you
not
mean?
entitled to
How are
it.
you
How
entitled
are
to
you? Yeah,
something?
exactly. You can't be entitled to sex because if you truly feel like you're
Sex,
entitled to sex, buy a hooker.
true, but sex is also that's a whole other thing. It's like like being a hooker or being an escort to a
Yeah,
certain extent is frowned upon in our culture. So
fuck it.
which is
There's a lot of
true.
things that are frowned upon in our culture, but people still do them. Like, listen, if you're gonna be one of those people who like frowns upon something, but also is gonna bitch about the same basic like realm of thing, then maybe you should just get over it because the beautiful thing about this world is your life is your life. You can do with your life whatever the fuck you want. And if people are gonna judge you, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Agreed. But Trevor Noah said something that was very interesting. This is from his perspective, which I agreed with 100%. He said the problem in America and with this study is it's not that men are having less sex, because the problem with the men and the way men are raised in America, or just the toxic behavior of the
Hmm.
way men are treated, is like men don't know what true intimacy is. They
Yeah,
think
because
sex is
they're
intimacy, but that's not. They're
yeah,
hand in hand, but they're not in the
that's
same
true.
time.
Exactly, exactly. Like you can have an intimate night with a partner without even having sex. Whether
Yeah.
whether it be like like even if it's just cuddling and watching a movie, that's intimacy. And I guess I could see how a lot of men. I feel like maybe the porn industry has changed the perspective on what sex really is for a lot of men because they expect a girl to fucking deep throat them and let them come on their face type of shit. And I can guarantee you that 90% of women do not like having their getting a cum shot to the face.
True. I think, hear me out for a moment. I think it is the idea of the simple fact of in the American culture is men can't be intimate with other men in the same way that women are with women. And I'm not talking about intimate sexually. I'm talking about intimate on like just having intimacy from like being able to talk to your male friend about deep emotions and having like, oh, yo, let's have this conversation about this, or I feel this way, because usually it's frowned upon. Your bros are just people you're supposed to like drink with, party with, have fun with, and intimacy is where you only get that from women.
I mean, I get that, because there are definitely a lot of men like that, but like from my perspective, like I've had deep intimate conversations with all of my best friends.
Well, you're not. We've already established at the beginning of this that you are not normal. You are like, you're like a rainbow that rarely comes out, only when it rains. That is not. He's not gay, but I'm just saying, like, he's very different. Like, he seems very mature and very in tune to his emotions and having deep conversations, which is why he's on this podcast. Because it wouldn't be with any, like, not trying to say straight men aren't like that, but most straight men that I run into are like not in tune with their like emotions and who they are and their sensitive side. They're just more along the lines of playing this toxic masculine role that's kind of put before them.
I think a lot of the stigma around sex as well, especially in America, also comes from the media, who sexualizes any part of the female body for the most part, because like one of my buddies, he grew up in France, and like he said that like shampoo commercials would come on TV in France, and they would show the entire naked woman in the shower while she's doing the thing. So they're not sexualizing the female body, because they are showing it to the general public. If you're watching TV and a shampoo commercial comes on, you can be 2 or 60, and you're gonna see this naked woman, and you're gonna become like neutralized to it, because it is a natural thing.
Yeah.
Any naked body is a natural part of life, and so the fact that we censor all of that here in America makes it almost a taboo thing. So it like in turn creates a less intimate society, if you will.
No, I agree. I agree with that point of view. Like that is true. The media persuades people, and like when you grow up, like women always blur out the breasts, always blur out certain parts of the body, but a man could be shirtless, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Now, but a male's nipples and a female's nipples are basically the same, except women have breasts.
Yeah. So question, like out of curiosity, because someone said this on TV, and it was an interview. He was like questioning, if I go and as a man, I identify as a man, go and say I want breasts, let me have breast surgery. Therefore, when I go in public, you can see my masculinity, the fact that I am a man, facial hair, everything, but I happen to have breasts, and I'm walking around shirtless, but these appear to be female breasts. Am I going to get censored and say you can't do that? Because if it's really about the nipple, then men should cover their nipples as well. Because that's what they claim. Like, oh, as long as you cover the free, like, but that's what you said. It's sexualizing women on every level, to the point where it's just like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But men can do everything, because we're not a sexualized thing, unless we're like super built and look like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I mean, men are sexualized to an extent. Like, but see, at the same time, one thing that like Bill Burr said on one of his stand-ups that rings so true is, I feel like the only reason why it's okay to sexualize men is because other men don't fucking care.
Yeah.
So like, you never hear about a bunch of fat men protesting the Aquaman movie because Jason Momoa looked fucking godly in that movie. No man gave a fuck, because they knew, okay, this is my body, that's his body. I'm not going to look like that ever, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But then again, you see a Victoria's Secret model walk down the runway, and then like, do her thing, and then you have all these other average-looking women who are like, how am I supposed to compete with that? Don't fucking try to. There's a market for everything. There's somebody who's always going to be attracted to you and what you are and who you are. So why are you going out of your way to get offended by a woman who literally like to look like that? Her workout regimen is fucking crazy. Her eating schedule, her like the things that she's allowed to eat. Like, are you gonna hold yourself to that standard? And if you If you don't want to, that's totally fine. You don't have to. But if you want to, then that's, that's what you're going to create out of it. But yeah, like the reason why it's okay to sexualize men or is just because is I would say is basically just because other men don't give a fuck.
True, but some women can say we don't give a fuck either. I don't fall into that category of those women that's screaming and protesting.
Yeah, I mean that's true, and that's very true. But also at the same time, things have changed because other women do get offended by the social stigma or social norm of what a beautiful woman is.
True. I mean, but yeah, it's just a double-edged sword because
It really is.
because like you can be like, oh well, I'm not okay with that. That's not right, and they can say, well, also you also remember that the media was also in the early '80s, '90s and stuff was ran by men, so they were putting their own sexual fantasies in like, oh well, women need to be this size. So women was like, well, we don't care that they look like that. We just want more representation of what a real woman looks like.
Yeah.
Like okay, they represent 1% of women because they work hard to keep that body and that look.
Look, that's fine, but then come up with a company that is based around that. Don't try and change Victoria's Secret's image because they've had this image for years and they built.
But shouldn't they also be inclusive? They should be able to just say, hey, let me stick with these skinny, beautiful women, and if someone else wants to come in the market and create a Victoria's Secret line for like larger women, then do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but they could say the same thing. Like, I mean, you could apply that to so many different areas. That's just like, yeah, oh, well, if black people want to be in movies, then they need to create their own studios. I mean, I get it. Race is different, but like, it's still
race
like
is very different. You can't fucking come over here and say that shit.
No. It is very different, but at the same time, like people can look at it and say, well, there's no difference for me. Okay, all I'm saying is a double-edged sword. And at the end of the day,
there's no difference for you doesn't mean there isn't a difference.
Okay, well, it's not that easy. Okay, humans are complex creatures. I said it before.
Yeah.
All right, everybody wants a slice of pie. Everybody wants their opinion. Everybody wants to be represented. And unfortunately, and I'm gonna get to this. We're gonna end it after this particular conversation, but this kind of falls into that whole thing. It's just like I saw the other day. Like I play video games. I'm big in video games. PC, Xbox, mobile gaming on some levels. And the thing about it is they were talking about a new game that was coming out and what they were going to do. And people was like, oh my God, they're going to try to make this game woke, right? And this whole word about woke is confusing to me because, and you can explain it to me a little bit better. And I'm not trying to say I'm not educated on it, but like most of the time that I see people combating woke, it's just like, where they're trying to be inclusive just for the sake of saying we included someone to kind of meet a quota, right? But I'm like, okay, I get that from the perspective of like, we're just going to throw a black person or a trans person in this show, or we're going to rewrite the script to make this person trans, for example, making Ariel black. Okay, they're just like, well, why did they need to do that? I was like, why does it matter? She's a fictional character. Anything that changes, if this is not history, something that's written in history that actually happened, anything is fair game to be changed.
Exactly.
So why are some people so like, oh, that's too woke? I don't understand. I'm like, so you're mad because they're adding a trans character, a black character, or they're doing this. Why are you upset? Like, you can go watch the original one. It exists.
Yeah.
So don't watch the new one.
Exactly.
Why do you need to, like, that's the point. People just like to cry baby, cry now. Everybody has to cry about something. And I'm just like, why don't you just accept that times are changing? You're that old person that said segregation should be still a thing, but it's not the same thing because they were racist. And I was like, well, I'm not saying you're racist, but like let people be inclusive. If they want to make a new game with a character that's black, or they want to make a new movie with a character that's trans, don't watch the movie. Go watch the old movie when it comes out. Like the day the movie released, just go watch the old Little Mermaid and be happy.
Exactly.
Or why try to broaden her perspective and say, let's see what they could do.
Yeah.
And make something different.
Look, I personally don't understand why people are fucking all upset over the fact that the Little Mermaid is black. Who fucking cares what color her skin is? She's a fish. Okay, she's a mermaid.
She's not real.
She ain't real. Exactly. And like you said, unless it's something that has to do with history, like if they tried to make George Washington a black man.
Yeah, no.
It
wouldn't make sense.
Exactly.
Slavery would have been abolished and he would have been like, give them all the reparations.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it wouldn't make sense towards the story because the story is a real thing that fucking happened.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be a little bit more like by the book with that. But with a fictional character, you can play them as whoever the fuck you want. You know, like shit. The Little Mermaid could have been a duck for all I fucking care. You know, like the Aflac duck. You know, who gives a fuck who is portraying this person and like.
People would not be in a rage if they also switched it and made it a guy. If it was a white guy instead of a girl, and then just made the prince of princess on it would be like, oh my god, it's revolutionary and it's so
people
great.
Would still be,
you know, they would.
People
they
definitely
would be. It should be a woman.
Like they'd be like, oh, what? So some guy is well, like, what is he gonna fall in love with a princess or is he gonna fall in love with a prince? So you're gonna make him gay? Blah blah blah. They would definitely have a bitch fit over that. I think
we're just in a stage right now with Twitter or how Twitter before Elon Musk got it. Twitter. I think Twitter has become the place to complain. And then when Twitter became popular, it's just
I've never had a Twitter. I've never liked
I created
Twitter.
one, but I never used it. I just did it to like check on like video game stuff, like when like video developers release content. But like to follow people's personal, but I didn't care what Donald Trump, I didn't care what Barack Obama, I don't care what those politicians say or post because
I don't care about other, like, it's funny to me when people are like, oh my god, did you hear what Kanye said? Or oh my god, did you hear what like the Kardashians did last weekend? I'm like, no, and I don't fucking care. My thing is, if I fuck with a celebrity, like if I fuck with their music or if I fuck with their movies or whatever, I don't like, that's all I fuck with. I don't research them. I don't research their lives. Most of the time in bands, I don't even know the band members' names.
And that goes back to media. That goes back to the media because back in the day when movies came out, you would only see actors come out to promote the movie and then they go about their private professional lives. But then the media was like, well, we can make, and actually Kim Kardashian kind of did that. They just became like, oh, I'm a celebrity because like, not because I have talent, not trying to say they don't have talent because she's a billionaire, but before it was just like, I made a sex tape. My talent is I'm entertaining on TV. My personal life is therefore a floodgate open. And now people are just like, well, what is Kanye saying this week? And well, actually Kanye kind of looks for attention when he posts stuff.
He
like,
really does.
He like, that's kind of his thing. But like,
Kanye's
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like when it comes to like my artists with like, I love Sierra, like, and I love Beyonce and I love Taylor Swift and I love like a lot of different artists, but do not do that. Okay. I love Taylor Swift because my fiance was the one that got me into Taylor Swift.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is like I don't follow their personal lives.
Yeah.
Like they might post a photo, I'll like it, but I'm not like, oh, this person has these views. I don't care if they're Republican. I don't care if they're Democrat. I don't care if they believe in the Bible or what their religion is. All I care about is you keep putting out music so I can keep dancing.
Exactly.
And if you stop doing that, then I'm going to switch to somebody else.
Exactly.
Your job is to entertain me. You are no more important than entertainment for me.
Exactly.
I mean, that sounds bad, but literally that's what
it is. That's what their job is. Like, stay out of politics. You're not a politician. Okay? Like, and like all of this other shit. But also at the same time, I don't fucking care what they do with their daily lives. I don't care where their favorite place to eat is. I don't give a fuck about their birthday. I don't care about any of that shit. Agreed. I like your music or I like your movies.
Yeah, it's almost like a blurred line where people are almost looking up to celebrities and they say, well, they're influencers and like you have 20 million people following you on Twitter and people are easily influenced by you tweeting this. And I'm just kind of like, well, I don't care. I mean, I get there are people that care. So there's statistics and data that backs that. Like if a celebrity says something and people are going to go do this, but like, that's because that's what the media built them up to. That's what they kind of culture and created America and or like the whole media society. You know, it's just like, I didn't care what Whitney Houston was doing when Bodyguard came out. I just wanted to see the movie. Yeah. You know, damn, am I really giving away my age? Anyway, but you know, it was a good chat. Like these are things that we could talk on forever about and just go into deep conversation, but we could save it for another podcast because I mean, unless you move away like every other co-host that I've tried to get, then you know that might not be a thing, but I get it. You're a tattoo artist.
I'm not planning on moving away. There might be some times when I'm traveling, but I mean, I'm trying to stay here. So
no, I get it. You're an important person, and you know, I will drop all of your information in the link in the bio of the podcast, so people can reach out to you if they want a tattoo, if they want to see some of your work on Instagram, or You don't have Twitter, so sorry guys, you're not gonna find him on Twitter
I don't
at
have
all.
Facebook either.
He don't even have Facebook, so you're just gonna have to go to his Instagram. That's the
Yep.
only way you're gonna get a tattoo or know more about Chris. But I'm definitely gonna have him back for other things, and I'm just gonna say thank you for like coming and giving your opinion on everything. And I'm glad I actually met you.
Yeah, I'm glad I met you too.
All right, so we're out, and thank you.
Yeah.